What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Heat Ray Vision podcast. This is Hav, and with me I got Hector.
Yo.
And I got Mario.
What up?
And we're here to give you guys our review of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So yeah, man. This is a very interesting movie.
Mm-hmm. A lot of explaining to do.
Yeah. I know you guys have a lot of thoughts. Me, I don't know if I have a lot. I have things I want to say, but I don't know if I have as passionate thoughts as you guys. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's just me, though. But before we get started, I want to remind you guys that you can listen to our podcast on SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. And you can follow our socials at Heat Ray Vision Podcast.
Yeah. So this movie was supposed to be the first movie of the phase 5, right?
We're in phase 5 now. Holy shit, dude.
This is the first movie 5. Setting up the big bad wolf, right?
Kang.
And the trailer looks raw. Like, obviously, I was kind of hyped, low key, when the trailer came out.
Dude, the trailer looked fire.
Yeah, you're like, what the heck's going on?
The first trailer, I was like, okay, like the one that was playing Elton John's, the Yellow Brick Road song. Mm-hmm. That one was okay, but it was the second trailer that showed a lot more Kang.
Yeah,
that was the one that made this movie seem fucking raw.
And in that same trailer, we get introduced to a new character in the MCU, MODOK. Right,
MODOK's in this movie, yeah.
And I remember when I saw that in the trailer, I was hyped. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, right? Mm-hmm. But then I was like, what the fuck?
Why are they showing him here?
Yeah, like why are they like? Oh, it's typical like Marvel shit, bro. Where like they just show too much in the trailers. That was going through my head. I'm like, bro, why? Like,
yeah.
Why do they show him? Mm-hmm. You know, that's just like my biggest thing, and. This movie was like early reviews, man. Like with critics at least, the critics did not like this movie, man. No, it's the worst. I mean, the second worst,
lowest rated movie
from the MCU, right?
It's like right above Eternals,
right? But that's critics, right? Now we finally got the audience score, and like what it's like it's in the 80s.
It's in the 80s.
I don't know. I actually haven't seen.
I can double check if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. It's in the 80s. I believe so. Mario's about to check right now. So, and to be honest, I fall under. Like, I did enjoy. Like, this movie was good. Like, it wasn't as bad as what people like the critics were saying.
Okay, I thought I was the only one.
Yeah,
I didn't think this movie was
like terrible,
as mid as people made it out to be. You feel me?
I guess so, but like, that's true. But there is, like, mediocre MCU elements still in it, where it's just kind of, like, a bit repetitive. And it's just like, okay, yeah, like, I figured. Mm-hmm. Like, this movie is definitely, don't expect this movie to be something insanely different. To be honest, it kind of plays out like a typical Marvel MCU film, bro. Like, to be honest, you know what I mean? There's nothing that was done really different or like whoa, and to me, and I thought this movie was gonna be like whoa, like hell yeah, you know what I mean? After we got Wakanda Forever, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
So that's what I was expecting for this one, but this movie was maybe I had my hopes too high or something, maybe. And yeah, man, like not only that, like I was saying this to Mario, like it didn't really feel like an Ant-Man movie in my opinion. It didn't feel like an Ant-Man movie.
You know
like,
what it felt
Ant-Man
like?
was more on the sidelines, to be honest.
You think so?
I think so. He was. I think he was more pushed like on the sidelines. Like everything that was getting shit done was because of Janet and Cassie. You know what I mean?
To me, bro, I just feel like, Ant-Man's the main character. It's Ant-Man movie. But to me, the way I would put it is feel like a lot of characters felt like the main character. That's kind of how I would say it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's true. I feel like, like with I forgot what, like the mom, what's her name? Like she had a decent amount of like plot, along with the daughter, Ant-Man himself, even Khan himself too, obviously. But I feel like everyone felt like a main character here.
I guess so. I thought Ant-Man would just
be the major one.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
But mostly, if you really think about it, it's like It's kind of like Cassie. You know, it's like they're setting up for Cassie, like, to be the replacement. That's what I think. That's what they're doing. Like, they're setting it up. Like, oh, look at her. She's out. She's obviously learning how to cope with the situation she was going through with her dad. But not only that, she's actually not listening to her dad. She's like, no, I could do this myself. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just feel like
I'll be honest, dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
For a movie that's called Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, well, yeah. Why don't they just call it Ant-Man?
Yeah, the Wasp was the one that I felt was more in the sidelines.
Definitely.
She felt like she took like a back seat. Yeah, kind of ish.
Exactly. Even though she's played such a pivotal part, and she was actually more of a big deal in the second movie, because that's when they changed the title. You know, because the first Ant-Man was Ant-Man, then Ant-Man 2 was Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she was on all the posters and shit. And she actually stood out, and I actually felt like she redeemed herself as her own hero. I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to seeing more of the Wasp.
I think they just did it just because of the name.
Well,
like,
no, yeah,
it's like the branding, like
obviously, but
you know.
like I just felt like
she was, yeah.
If you're gonna have someone in the name of the movie, like have them stand out more, and I felt like she was pushed to the side a lot. In this
That's
movie.
true. Mm-hmm.
That's why when you said, "Oh,
her mother had more impact than her,"
yeah,
that's facts.
You know what I mean? So like, it's because I don't know. Even with Ant-Man, I felt the same with Ant-Man. I feel like Ant-Man didn't really have that much like to do in here. He was more so like a puppet in a way, where he wasn't the one being, I got to come up with a plan and blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? It was Cassie doing all that. She was the one. Oh, I got to do this. I got to free them. I want to help these people. We got to take him down. We got to, you know what I mean? I feel like she was the one driving the plot more than Ant-Man. Ant-Man was just like, I got to do this or else Cassie's going to die. Instead of saying, oh, I got to do this to save Cassie, but I also got to stop this man. I got to blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Right,
we didn't get that from him until Cassie showed up in the Jumbotron, right? Giving that speech.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, man, I don't know. Listen, I was saying this to Mario. I don't know if I'm like over it with superhero shit. I almost said that. Maybe I'm just over it. I'm just over superhero shit. And I was like, wait, nah, I can't say that. Because I look back at Netflix, Daredevil, and all these different shows. I'm like, this shit raw. I love it. And so more so, I think I'm just tired of the MCU shit, bro. I'm tired of the generic feel-good story. Heroes always win. The typical moments where something intense is happening, but before that thing happens, there's 10 minutes of dialogue of saying, my dad taught me this, but something blah 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 taught me this, and we can do this. Yes. And that whole scene with the Jumbotron with her, I thought like it didn't feel like that it didn't feel like a heartfelt moment to me. It felt kind of cheesy.
Oh, when she was giving the speech of like, let's fight together.
Yes. It felt cheesy and corny to me.
Absolutely.
And I did not feel that heartfelt, like typical, like how Captain America's like, we got to do this. Avengers assemble. I didn't feel that. I was like, okay, typical, whatever. And then fucking Ant-Man in the shit. That's my girl. Like typical. It's just very generic, bro. It's very typical and like.
I agree.
I just don't like it. And honestly, man, the first act of this movie was really good.
Yeah.
I really liked the first act, bro. And then it slowly started going downhill for me. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And it's just like, I don't know, man, because I don't. It's just, and surprisingly, I will say this. Surprisingly, I thought the comedy in this movie was actually well executed than most. Where
I agree with that.
Where it was done in right moments. The comedy didn't like overthrow Kang's like seriousness, like how we saw in Thor: Love and Thunder with Gore and everything. So I'm glad that was good, right? But it's just like if you really think about it, bro, it's just another generic MCU movie, man. There's nothing necessarily different. You get the cheesy stuff. Like, I mean, same with that guy that you said, right? That where he said how like the actors, the comedic relief people. Do you want to explain that to the audience of
Say that again.
Oh my god, that one guy that you really watch. on YouTube.
Okay.
Fuck, I forgot his name. Jeremy Johns, that guy.
Jeremy Johns.
Jeremy, yeah, shout out to you, bro. I mean, I don't really watch it, but you still cool, whatever. Fuck it. It's because Javi showed me a clip of him explaining certain things, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it's the moment where he says that the comedic relief is always the same type of person. Do you want to elaborate more on that for the viewers? Like what?
So basically, so what he
that's true.
What he had said was, typically in Marvel movies nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, let me backtrack. Marvel movies back then always seemed to have one character that was comedic relief, because when the rest of the movie would try to be serious. But he was basically saying in the video that nowadays it feels like in the MCU, all the characters are comedic relief. You know what I mean? Where like they all have to be super funny and witty and quippy and, you know, make jokes and be clever and minded and just try to be an imitation of like the same energy that Iron Man would strut with. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that was basically what he was saying. Is how everyone just feels like a comedic relief character, that you don't really need someone to be just the one only comedic character.
Right.
And he had made reference about how Michael Pena did not come back to be in this Ant-Man movie, even though he was in the last two. And in all those movies, he was the comedic relief. And he basically said, like, I'm not surprised that they didn't bring him for this movie because he doesn't have to be comedic relief when everyone in the movie is.
That's facts.
So
it's like they don't have their own identity, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even it's just really tough, man, seeing the state of Marvel and stuff. It's just I'm not really hyped, right? And I get it, right? I get it. Bro, we're just starting off, right? We're just starting off where the Phase 5 just started. Like, sure. Okay, that's facts, right? That's facts. But the issue is, like, it's just the same old stuff. It's just like the same old story, but just reskinned. The same typical stuff happens, just reskinned.
Yeah.
And to be honest, man, I know, like, we haven't gotten into the details of, like, of spoilers of describing the movie.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind. I just want to talk about these things because I'm more passionate about it. It's just, I was not expecting the ending of this movie, and I was just confused. And honestly, like with Kang, I already said this to Mario and Hav, but I'm not familiar with him with his comic book stories. I never really read into him or read any storylines with him, so I don't really know who this guy is. Besides that, he time travels and he's like this big, like, he's a big villain, and not only that, and he's also a big villain to the Fantastic Four, right? Yeah. That's all I know. And so it's just me knowing that, I was like expecting more from this movie, and I was confused, right? I was like, okay, so this movie was, once again, we forgot to mention in the fucking beginning of the podcast, spoilers, right?
Oh yeah.
We keep forgetting, bro. We have how many episodes we're in? Spoilers, guys. But in the end of the movie, I didn't expect him to die, right? I didn't expect him to die, or so we think, right?
Right.
So we think he's dead. I didn't expect that. If anything, bro, I expected Ant-Man was gonna die.
Yeah, I did too.
You know what I mean? I thought this was gonna be okay, because this is an introduction, right, to Kang, right?
Yeah.
This is the introduction to Phase 5, and this was their moment to show how fucking serious Kang was.
Yeah.
And in that moment, boom, he could have shown how serious he was by killing Ant-Man, and showing how fearful he really is. And even in the movie, there's a bunch of references. Do you know how many worlds I took over, blah, blah.
Right.
How many Avengers I've killed. Oh, you're an Avenger? All to me, it's just a blur. He's killed so many that's a blur. He even mentions Thor. Are you the one with the hammer? And then obviously Ant-Man being jokes like, we get confused, like, we have the same body type, which I thought was funny. But, like, that's how serious this guy is, right? So I'm like, holy shit, right? I'm like, okay. Just for Ant-Man to beat him. To kill him.
Yeah.
So it's weird because why couldn't Ant-Man alone, and obviously everyone else, the team, right? They're not really Avengers, but Ant-Man and them were able to defeat Kang. But Kang managed to kill multiple teams of Avengers and take over multiple worlds. So it's kind of like unbelievable. It's kind of like it's a believable. I can't say that word. It's not believable, in a sense, right? Like the believability. It's like, okay, really? Mm-hmm. What makes you different from like if he could kill Thor, but he can't kill Ant-Man?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Even though Thor, we know he's a god.
Yeah. And
Ant-Man admits in this movie that he would not want to fight Captain America because Captain America will beat his ass. Mm. So it's kind of like, okay, what are we doing here, right? I think that was my biggest issue. But going to a positive, Kang himself, the actor, I don't know his actor. Do you know what was the name again?
Jonathan Majors.
Right. He did amazing, bro. Even in Loki. In Loki, he did great. Mm-hmm. Right here, he did great. I believe, like, he was raw, bro.
Yeah.
The way he was speaking and everything, dude, great as Kang, bro. I fuck with it. That's one thing for sure.
Oh yeah.
Another thing that did you want to mention something else? Like, did you want to add something about like the ending and stuff, or did you think the same? Do you pretty much think the same shit that I was saying?
Yeah, I was low key. But I wasn't really thinking about it as much. But it did cross my mind when you had said, like, oh, really? Like, Ant-Man was able to defeat Kang. What the heck? But, like, I wasn't thinking about it that much. I was my mind were on other things than that. But no, other than that, I didn't really have much.
And not only that, we find out that Kang was exiled. He was sent to the quantum realm.
By other Kangs.
Right. By the other variants and stuff.
By the variants.
Because he's so bad and evil, he's blah blah blah. They had to banish him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Ant-Man defeated him.
Like that.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's kind of like weird, right? It's okay, what the fuck's going on? And so, another thing I also want to mention as well is Cassie, bro. I don't know her real actor name.
I forget.
I might be a minority on this, man. People might hate on me if listen to this. I don't know. Y'all might hate me.
I think I know where he's going with this.
I didn't buy her acting.
Thank you. Oh my god. Dude, I was thinking the same shit.
I didn't buy her fucking acting.
No, dude. No. Bro.
Like the moments where she's serious and like sad, whatever.
Nope.
She's just normal.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Like,
yes.
You don't see any emotion.
No emotion. Bro, thank you. I thought I was the only one, bro. No bullshit. Bro, I'm being fucking serious. I was watching her fucking acting, bro, and I was like, I'm getting mad Captain Marvel vibes, bro.
Yeah.
Remember in the first Captain Marvel movie, Brie Larson barely showed expression when she was acting as Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is she doing this? Like, why does she act emotionless where she has the same expression on her face? I was like, why is she doing that? And I know that it bothered me.
Yeah.
Because Brie Larson is a great actress. She's been in good movies and she's won a fucking Oscar. Mm-hmm. So she's capable of good acting. That I see her in a Marvel movie and she's expressionless and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, her acting was way better in Endgame. I don't know what it was. I don't know why she decided to switch up, and now she's going to be in the new Marvels. I hope that she's not like that in that movie, too. I hope she switches it up and shows more emotion. But, dude, as I was watching the movie, I'm like, this girl is giving me mad Captain Marvel vibes. Yeah, there is no emotion in her
acting
face,
wasn't on par.
In her voice. Like,
I didn't buy it.
It was the same face.
Yeah.
Am I the only one on this? She had the same face.
And it was moments where, like, it was serious, where something was like, oh my God. You know what I mean?
But like,
when it comes to, like, her being happy and, like, anything like that, fine.
Hey, I'm going to be honest, bro.
Yeah, go on.
I don't think I ever saw her eyebrows raise. I don't think I've ever seen her.
I mean, I just didn't buy it.
There was just no expression, bro.
I just didn't care. I don't know, Mario. What do you think, bro?
No, like,
did you notice that?
Did you notice that?
Or no?
I mean, to me, bro. I mean, I didn't see anything that stood out. Like, oh my God, that was pretty bad. You know, to me, it was like, I don't think she was a standout. To me, it was Kang. Stand out.
No,
sure.
To me, it was that.
But like, we're just talking about her acting.
We're talking about her acting. Like, you never noticed her acting being like, why does she see? Why am I not believing her?
Like to reference what Hector before, like that hologram scene. Where like
that one showed off more.
To me,
it's more moments of distress, or like where you have to show like emotion of fear and stuff and like sadness or whatever. That's where she lacked. That's where like I didn't see. I was like, okay, I didn't really buy it, man. Nope. It wasn't great. I'm not gonna lie.
No, yeah, it wasn't.
No, man. For me, it was just like that hologram scene. To me, I think it was just like the bad writing.
You think so?
Because that writing was cheesy. Like my dad taught me. I was like,
oh no, believe me, the writing was cheesy.
Yeah, I give you that. I blame
no, that whole scene was corny, bro.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. He's right, though. The writing was kind of corny. It was typical shit. Yeah. But also, when you add on that whole issue of ours with her acting, on top of that, it does not help her case. Yeah. You feel me?
Okay, I thought I was gonna. I honestly, bro, I thought y'all weren't gonna agree with me.
No, dude, I trust me, I noticed, bro.
Because when I was watching it, I'm thinking, I'm like, bro, really? Like, I don't buy this. Like, this, you know what she gives off?
Oh no.
Like Spy Kids vibes, bro. Spy Kids? Like Spy Kids 3. Like Spy Kids 3D or whatever the fuck. Like, I forgot what that movie's called. The
Game Over?
Game Over, something like that. Yeah, that's some like Spy Kids acting, bro. Like I just didn't I just didn't buy it, man. Yeah. I was like, dude, yeah, bro. So, and I haven't seen anyone on social media talking about it. So I thought I was like, am I the only one?
No, bro? Dude, I also noticed it. I was just kind of like, oh, what the fuck, bro? Why is she being like this? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't know if you guys heard of this, but you know, we saw an older Cassie before, right?
We have?
Yes.
And where?
In Endgame.
Really?
Yes, bro. There was a different. We saw Cassie in Endgame because Scott comes back from the quantum realm, and it's been 5 years later.
Oh, it's a different actor?
Yes, bro.
No, I didn't notice.
Yes, bro. It was a different actress.
What the fuck?
So they had a different girl playing older Cassie in Endgame, and for whatever reason, I don't know the reason why, but Marvel Studios decided to recast the role, and they gave it to that girl, Catherine Newton. That was her name. I remember now.
I didn't notice that.
It is a different actress entirely, but what's it called? It was a different. It's a different actress, dude. And here's what's fucked up. You want to hear the story? So apparently, the original actress who played Cassie in Endgame didn't know that she got recasted until Marvel Studios posted on their social media that in Ant-Man Quantumania, Catherine Newton has been cast to play Cassie. That's what she saw it.
Wow.
They did her dirty.
Why?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Let me see real quick.
The one on the far right.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
I didn't notice, bro.
Hey, but you want to know what's fucked up?
What?
Just looking at that picture, do you see how she got more emotion than the girl in the middle?
Yes, bro.
You see that?
Yes, dude.
Bro,
look at her face. Her face looks normal as fuck here.
And then look at the other actress from Endgame. Look at her face. Dude,
I see it, bro.
She showed more. And guess what? Here, you can take this back. Do you remember in Avengers Endgame when he goes running to the house, Scott, to look for Cassie because he didn't know if she got blipped or not?
Yeah.
And then she comes down, she looks at the door, and she's like, "No way!" And she opens the door.
Yeah.
And she like hugs him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh my God, you're so big," right? Like that whole scene. That's the only scene Cassie's in Endgame. The only one. And in that scene alone, that actress playing Cassie showed more emotion than this actress playing Cassie in Quantumania in the whole movie.
Dude, I had no idea. I did not notice, bro. I guess it was so long ago, bro.
No, of course.
You know what I mean? I just don't remember.
Of course. But it's because for me, the reason why I know.
Yeah, how'd you know? Yeah.
Because I remembered when Marvel Studios announced, hey, we're casting Catherine Newton to play Cassie Lang in Quantumania. And I was like, oh, they recasted her? What the fuck? And then I saw that the original actress went on social media to say that I am really disappointed that they didn't call me first or let me know that they didn't bring me back and this and that. But I'm also grateful and thankful for the support that I've been getting from everyone telling me that it's the Marvel's lost and this and that. Like I appreciate.
Why though?
If I'm being honest,
be real, bro. Be real, bro. Be 100% fucking real. Why?
It's because Catherine Newton, honestly, is a better well-known actress than the other girl. She's been in more things. I can pull up her her thing. But she's been in other.
So she's just been more stuff,
So she has been acting since 2002.
Oh wow.
So she was a little girl because she's 26 right now.
Oh okay.
And she's been in. So she was the main teenage girl in Paranormal Activity 4.
Oh shit, bro.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in forever, bro.
Yeah. She was in Blockers.
Blockers.
It was that comedy movie with John Cena and about like how their kids go to a party, but then they hear that at parties teenage kids have.
Oh,
sex.
like is that like cock blockers?
Cock blockers.
Yeah, blockers. Yeah.
She was the main one of the main teenage girls that I think was John Cena's daughter.
Oh.
She was in that movie. She was in Detective Pikachu.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, I thought you did. So
no, I haven't seen that one.
Well, she's the one. She was the one that pals around with the kid and Pikachu in the movie. She's that one. And then in television, she was in one episode of Mad Men. She was in Supernatural, the show.
I haven't seen that one. I heard it was good.
Yeah, and she's been in more stuff, but like that's been
okay. She
that's
just have
the more well known.
She has a built up like resume.
Exactly.
Shit. Yeah.
She was in Freaky, that fucking movie.
Freaky.
So that's the one where like Freaky's that one horror movie. It was a comedy horror movie that came out years ago. It starred Vince Vaughn and that girl from Ant-Man.
Okay.
And she's a teenage girl, or I think a college student or whatever. And Vince Vaughn plays a murderer, a serial killer. And on some Freaky Friday bullshit from Disney Channel, they switch bodies.
Oh.
So her character's in Vince Vaughn's body, and the serial killer's in Catherine Newton's body.
Right.
She was in that movie. And that movie, when they came out in theaters, it like popped off. It actually did really good. But it was that girl.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, bro, she got recasted, bro.
I had no idea, bro. I never noticed.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, well, I didn't buy her shit, bro.
No.
I'm gonna be real.
No. It was not.
Yeah,
I thought I was the only one, dude.
No, I'm trying to find an article, and all I can find is where it says right here, where it says that it appears that the studio wanted a more seasoned actress to shoulder the role.
See?
That's bogus as fuck.
And the original actress didn't even know. So she went on social media and they saw that they announced it.
Oh yeah, following the reveal, the actress posted on Twitter that she was sad. She was sad to hear the news on News Thursday and expressed hopes that there would be something else for me in the future of the MCU.
So she says that she hopes to come back, even if she has to play a different character, which realistically they would never do.
Yeah.
Because she already showed her face as Cassie. That it would be like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, she's back again, but like she's not the same person.
I had no fucking idea, bro. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah, no, that original actress, bro.
Yeah.
I bet you would have done a way better job.
Yeah, bro. Because I just didn't.
I didn't buy her shit in this movie.
Okay.
And bro, we're gonna see her again, bro.
Yeah.
You know she got it. You know she got contracts down, bro.
No, yeah, of course.
To find out through a post. Yeah,
yeah, bro. Of course you got contracts, bro.
Emma Furman.
But okay, yeah. So that's okay. Good thing we agree on that, because that's one thing I noticed. Shit, I just didn't give a fuck. I didn't buy it. I was like, all right, cool. Everyone else was great though. You know what I mean? Especially Kang. I thought everyone else was great.
Yeah.
Except,
I liked.
Oh, go on. I was gonna mention someone, but go on.
No, yes, because you were gonna say other than the daughter.
Yeah.
Of Scott, right, Cassie?
So someone else did bad.
It's not
like
that
acting.
You were like, well, everyone else was great.
I'm talking about like acting.
Right. But for me, I don't know. It's just like, other than her, I'm not saying the acting is bad. I'm just saying they didn't really stand out. So I can't say they were great.
Who?
Because, well, for one, the Wasp, like I said, right?
Yeah.
Also, Bill Murray, his character in the movie, he played that like lover of Janet Van Dyne. And it's like,
that's all we just saw him in that one scene,
and that was it. He had no purpose to be in that fucking movie. There was that dude, the telepath guy that could read minds.
Oh yeah, right.
I actually liked him as a character.
I liked him.
I wished I'd see him more, but he wasn't. And I felt like the person that got more screen time than him was that warrior chick. Remember her?
Yeah, and I didn't give a fuck.
And I didn't give a fuck about her.
I didn't give a fuck about her.
And I was like, man, what the fuck? And
So like I thought she was gonna play a bigger role.
And I thought they were gonna explain her backstory more because all we know is that they took all.
Yeah, right. That's
home.
all we know.
I was like, okay, explain your home.
They gave us the surface,
your home.
The surface level explanation of her
to everyone
of her reasoning, like her whole backstory, which typically happens in movies like this. So I would say those 4 people were like the ones that to me did not stand out. So I can't really say they were great because it's like they didn't really do much. Like they didn't.
You know what? You're right. I meant like kind of like the main cast, not those guys. Because to me, those are like side characters. Like I just didn't really care. Right? It's just like, okay, like who is this warrior chick? If any, like I said, I agree. I thought the mind reader guy was more interesting than the warrior chick.
Yeah.
Like,
and apparently you guys didn't know this, but there were people on social media, especially TikTok, that were theorizing that dude was Reed Richards.
So
from
like
Fantastic Four.
Where did that come from? I haven't heard about that.
It's because years ago, bro, there was a rumor saying that Fantastic Four, the reason why we haven't seen him in the MCU, is because they are trapped in the quantum realm. And there was like videos explaining about how that could work and how them getting their powers, much like how Janet Van Dyne got her powers for being in the quantum realm for so long. Remember, she just shrank to the quantum realm. And then in Ant-Man 2, when she was saved from the quantum realm, she came back with powers, and it was like, what the fuck, right? People were saying that the Fantastic Four, rather than going to space or into the negative zone like in the comics or in like the Four Stick movie, that they go to the quantum realm and they get stuck there for a while.
Yeah.
And then that staying there for so long is what gave them their powers. And then people were saying like, oh no, like it's like, oh yeah, this guy's is Quartz or whatever his fucking name was. And it's like he's a telepath in the quantum realm. And people were like, nah, man, this is gonna be like it's gonna be one of those like grand reveals. He's actually gonna be Reed Richards. And I guess people were okay with the race swap thing going on.
Right.
And I haven't seen this dude in anything, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I'm just taking off people's words. People say that he is a good actor, that he's been in other things.
Yeah.
So that's why another reason why people were like, you know what? If John Krasinski's not coming back to play Reed Richards, I would take this guy. But obviously now after watching the movie, that's not the case. He really just was another telepath character from the quantum realm.
That would have been interesting.
Which means we still don't have a Fantastic Four cast.
And it's weird because King, he's like like I mentioned before, he's a known villain for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. Like, when are we going to get the Fantastic Four? And I feel like maybe the MCU might have made a mistake in that.
How so?
I feel like they should have announced the Fantastic Four and same X-Men, like, early on a bit. Or tease them early on. In some way. Like, for example, like, let's say the whole shit with, like, let's say Ultron, right? Some bullshit. Oh, we need help or whatever the fuck. And then let's say Nick Fury's like, well, I know a couple guys, blah, blah, blah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, type of stuff. But then ultimately he's like, no, we got this. Or like, you know what I mean? Some hints that they're out there. You know what I mean? But because they didn't, now they're kind of struggling in a sense. We're like, oh, how are we going to incorporate them? You know, it's like,
here's the thing.
What can we do? Because it's right. Because like, they never mention them at all. And you're telling me when Thanos was around, the Fantastic Four, X-Men didn't know about it,
right,
and weren't involved,
right?
So that's the issue. Is like
it's the continuity error.
Exactly, man.
So my thing is, this is my thing.
Yeah.
I feel like the MCU missed their shot. The best possible way that the MCU could have introduced the X-Men. Fantastic Four, I can understand. That's fine. Maybe they just need to introduce the story. But the thing, the issue is,
there's a theory. Hold that thought real quick, just really quick. There's a theory that I spoke with Danny, guy listening to the podcast, guys. I'm sure you guys know who Danny is. Danny gave a cool theory about the Marvels of how the Fantastic Four could be a part.
Ooh.
And I'll tell that after your thought.
Okay. Well, so for the Fantastic Four, I can understand that they didn't announce the Fantastic Four yet. That's fine. That's 100% fine, because that is a story that can be introduced in present day. The issue, my biggest issue, is how the X-Men have never been introduced in this universe yet.
Yeah.
My reasoning is because X-Men did not just one day show up. Feel me?
No, it's true. They've
been around for centuries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The first ever mutant was in the comics was I believe Apocalypse, which
he was he was the first ever mutant.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
I'm going based. I think so. I'm going based off the. I'm going based off the movies. I'm not gonna lie to you, the X-Men movies.
Oh, I could have sworn it wasn't it Namor. Wasn't he the first mutant? I could look it up real quick.
Yeah, if you want.
I'm
know,
not too sure.
But then again, Namor was also one of the first Marvel heroes to be created. So maybe that's another. Maybe that's what it is. But regardless, either way, the thing is though is that with the X-Men, bro, is that.
Yeah, it's Namor, bro.
Okay.
In the comic books, he's the first ever
mutant.
Mutant, yeah.
So in the so the thing is, here's where the issue lies. In the Marvel universe, right? Yeah. There are what's called mutants. That's what they're called. Mutants are people with powers, technically, but you were born with that power.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You weren't like granted them like Spider-Man or something. That's why they're not considered mutants. They were born with them. And they were born in their DNA, what's called the X gene. Mm-hmm. It's an actual gene in your DNA. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. For something like that, an X gene in your DNA, that's something that lasts centuries in the timeline. So you mean to tell me, so like how are mutants going to get introduced into this universe out of nowhere? When supposedly, like, well, mutants should have been around a while, logically speaking. Which ties back to what I'm saying before, where I think the MCU missed their shot. I remember hearing rumors, or not rumors, but theories of people saying, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is their opportunity to introduce the X-Men. Because what they could do is just introduce X-Men from a different multiverse, from another universe. In this universe, it's very much like ours. There's super people, but they are people that were born with powers, not granted them. These are people that don't have an Avengers. They have the X-Men. These are people who are not praised for their powers. They're discriminated. See that? It's like a mirrored world, but different. And so I was thinking maybe they'd introduce it. Or another theory that I heard was in the comics, Wanda does the House of M thing where she's like, no more mutants, and fucking wipes all the mutants out. I heard a theory that she was going to do a reverse House of M situation where she would cast a spell that would introduce mutants to the world. Yeah. And that's why they weren't around from like phases 1 through 4, which would have made more sense. But obviously that movie came out and the closest thing to a mutant that we saw was Charles Xavier. Great cameo, but nothing else more than that. Now, granted, I get it. It's Doctor Strange's movie, and don't get me wrong. I love that he was the center focus point. But what I'm saying is a post-credit scene showing mutants, showing something like that, that is what that should have been. There's no more perfect time that you could have introduced the X-Men than right there.
That's true.
A post or end credit scene in Multiverse of Madness. Instead, they gave us Bruce Campbell punching himself in the face over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, really? That's when I felt like they should have. But now that moment's gone, I feel like everyone's curiosity levels are now higher. It's like, okay, well, Doctor Strange just passed. Now, how are you going to introduce the X-Men?
How are they going to do it, dude?
And here's the thing.
Oh, we've been here all along. We just wanted to do our own thing.
Like Eternals. Like the Eternals. That's why I don't buy the Eternals.
Yeah, with Eternals, right?
I don't buy that shit where it's like, oh, we could not interfere with the Avengers battle with Thanos. It's like, you're a bitch. They needed you. They needed y'all. What the fuck?
I'm trying to remember because I'm not sure. You know, I think...
What if they like...
I'm trying to remember, like, if I know from the comic books, man. Like, I haven't read too much about Eternals, but I'm trying to remember if it was like that in the comic books, right?
I guess, but here's my...
I could look it up.
My thing is, bro, in the movie, when they said that, when they were like, oh, we could not interfere, that's Hollywood movie talk for, hey, we didn't get our movies before Infinity War, so we couldn't just stroll up out of nowhere. We didn't think of this through.
What if they, like...
Hell, like with Captain Marvel. Like, for example, like Captain Marvel should have came out way before Infinity War.
It's the same thing, bro. They just...
Like, the way they dropped that, was it after...
I forgot when
it was after Infinity War.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro.
It was after Infinity War.
And it's like, what? Like, why? Like...
I don't know. Bro,
I don't know. To me, I was just bad placement. Same with Black Widow. That's another movie where I thought they should have dropped way before.
I know.
You know what I mean? But it's like,
they dropped the
okay.
ball on that one.
No, I was gonna say like I don't know much of the comics, but like, what if their excuse is like, they just don't exist in our universe. They exist in another one. That work or no?
Who X-Men?
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Oh, that's what he was saying.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But like now that Multiverse of Madness is over, and we're on to Phase 5, like I'm gonna be honest, like the well is dry. I have no theories. I have no rumors. I have nothing. And I feel like everyone else also has nothing. I feel like any and all theories about the X-Men and stuff like that all relied on Multiverse of Madness. And now that none of it's confirmed, now everyone's back at square one. And we're all like, all right, well, how are they going to do it?
I mean, well, it's one of those where we just have to wait and see, man. We don't know what they're going to do. Right. But you're right. Now think about it. I forgot about that fucking end credit scene. That shit was whack. That was a whack one. I was like, really?
Okay, so I'm looking right here. It says, obviously the Celestials created the Eternals and everything. The Eternals have lived secluded on Earth, rarely interfering with the humanity. Mm-hmm. So, I guess that was an actual thing, bro. That these guys, didn't necessarily intervene that much. Mm. I don't necessarily know exactly why, but maybe, I mean, it says right here, bro. Like, I guess that's how they were, and so maybe because there are gods, you know. So maybe they were just a form of like, we'll only intervene when like in the movie where the fucking planet was about to be destroyed, right. You know what I mean? But like everything else that doesn't include the galaxy or the planet being destroyed, then they'll be like, We'll let them handle it, right?
Right.
One thing about Eternals, bro.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people shit on it.
I personally liked it, bro.
Obviously, I like it, but like,
I didn't think it was bad.
I think Eternals has like the best fucking visuals in any fucking Marvel thing.
What is?
Like the visuals.
Oh, in that movie?
Like
visuals were
like
cool.
what you see, you're like,
remember like that shot with the Celestial
with the hand.
That shit was cool,
dude. That shit was raw.
And honestly, like seeing like some type of form of Superman.
Yeah,
and the MC was pretty lit with Icarus. Mm-hmm. Even though we didn't really see him punch that much, he was mostly using his fucking heat vision. Mm-hmm. But regardless, I thought it was cool, man. I just love the Superman type characters like that, man. Fuck. Yeah. But yeah, I was gonna mention Danny was shoot. Maybe not Fantastic Four. I think he said like Galactus or something or whatever. So the Marvels, what Danny was telling me, he said, what if like, because you know Captain Marvel, she could go anywhere she wants, right? What if Captain Marvel like runs into the Silver Surfer or some shit? You know what I mean? Like some galactic shit where like she meets with him or like runs into him or whatever. And they're like, who the fuck are you? And then they're like, well, then they get like into a fight. Captain Marvel, I guess, wins. And then Silver Surfer's like, I never met anyone that powerful. Mm-hmm. Where's she from? And then he like follows her, like finds her, and then he like finds Earth. Type shit. Like that's what he was like speculating. I don't know if that's gonna happen, right? It's just too much. But I thought it was pretty cool. I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess, man, cool. that could be pretty interesting, right? Right. And you know, Galactus once again is another, and Silver Surfer once again is another big part of like the Fantastic Four, right? It's just like the Fantastic Four has a bunch of cool villains, bro. Main villains, like, and we don't have them, right? So that's like, okay, whatever. But what I was gonna say is, besides Cassie with her shit acting and everything else, another thing that they did wrong.
Oh no.
It's fucking MODOK, bro.
Ooh. I knew we were gonna get to this
fucking
point.
MODOK was fucking trash.
I knew we would get to this
MODOK was fucking wasted. And before you fucking casual MCU fucking watchers, bro, say, oh my god, like you just don't like his face. It's not that. I don't give a fuck. How else are you gonna... I'm gonna cut him some slack. How the fuck are you supposed to make that look nice? In the comic books, this motherfucker ugly as shit.
It's facts.
So like, you can't. That's not my issue. It's just they made the character. They just portrayed him in the wrong way, and I can see why. Because I'm gonna give a quick rundown half of who MODOK is.
Okay.
In the comic books.
Yeah.
So there's this organization called AIM.
Yes.
Right.
AIM.
It's an evil organization. You know, I'm sure you know what that is.
Yes.
And the research facility of AIM were where they were trying to build and seek out the Cosmic Cube, right? The Cosmic Cube that we know from Avengers and everything.
The Tesseract?
Yes, that's another word. Yes, it's just it's another word, Cosmic Cube. And they wanted to build it, right? But this supreme scientist in that research facility was like, "Oh, we need high brain power to like blah blah blah," right? So what they do is they just pick some random scientist, part of the group, pick him, and they drag his ass and they put him in an alteration chamber, just like how we saw in Ant-Man. Like they just put him in a chamber. He's a normal person like us, like normal. Mm-hmm. And then on some Frankenstein bullshit, it's alive. He comes out with a big head, and the reason why he has a big head is because he has a big brain. That's why he has a big head. And that same scientist, the leader scientist, named him mental organism designed only for computing. So a C at the end instead of K. So only for computing, right? And he was a computer. He's really fucking smart. He's one of the smartest villains on the planet. You know what I mean? And so once MODOK, I think, his name was George, that's his name, George. Once he realized how smart he was and how much whatever, he's like, I could overthrow these motherfuckers. And so he does. He kills the scientist supreme, and he kills everyone who disagrees with him. And then he eventually became the new leader of AIM. And then with his power, he just said, I'm gonna rule the fucking world. Right? And he's super smart. He's really fucking smart. He has these gadgets that he builds on him and stuff. And it got to the point where he would stand toe-to-toe with Captain America, the Hulk. And I believe there was a point where, surprisingly, like, his beam, like his beam that shoots out from his forehead, was able to hurt Captain Marvel type shit, right? But obviously, what I say, like, Captain Marvel obviously could whoop his ass and stuff. But that's not my point. My point is that this character, he potentially and could be Avenger level threat, right? Not, of course, not as much as Kang, because we're talking about multiverse, all this crazy shit. But another, like, grounded type of story in the Earth, right? Him just trying to, like, kind of like Ultron, where he's trying to take over and stuff like that. Like, he's that level. Okay. Right, and he's that smart and everything. Right. And people are saying, oh, like, he's always been comedic and stuff. No, bro. MODOK hasn't been, he's not comedic. He changed his own name to K. He's changed, because that name, MODOK, mental organism only designed for computing, that was given to him. But then once he said, I'm a slatter, he kills them all. He's like, fuck nah. My name is MODOK. Mental organism designed for killing, bitch. I'm gonna rule the world. That's what he transformed to. Mm-hmm. And that's all he cares about, to conquer the world. Yeah. Right? And the fact that in Quantumania, that's not what we get.
No, fuck no.
The reason why he has a big head, right? It's not because he was transformed into this smart machine. It's because when Darren, Yellow Jacket, right, when he was banished into the quantum realm and Ant-Man, and the first Ant-Man, he was crushed, right? Everything was crushed except for his head. So when Kang found him, he was still in his Yellow Jacket helmet, and his head was just normal size. But everything else about him was small. And so what Kang did, he just grabbed him, put him in an alteration changer, and just fixed him up and gave him a suit. That is why he has that head, bro. Mm-hmm. Not because he had a big brain, because he's smart and all this stuff. No. That was just his regular head. It's just his rest of his body got shrunken down. Does that make sense? Yeah. And Kang made him livable, made him livable and stuff. That's the difference that we got. And not only that, they made him very comedic in this one, where to the point where he has to ask Cassie for validation of who he is. Oh, like what am I? It's like, who am I, Cassie? Tell me, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't know, just don't be a dick. But I am a dick, or like whatever the fuck he says, right? What? MODOK? seeking validation from someone? Hell no. He's gonna be like, ha, I am the mental organism. I am the smartest being, blah, blah, blah. I am. And he's seeking validation over this teenage girl?
Yeah.
And then he didn't even have to be in this fucking movie. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. He didn't have to be in this fucking movie. Oh, comedic relief? Why? We don't need that. We already got comedic relief with Ant-Man and the little gooey motherfucker, and you know what I mean? What do we need him for? They just did him fucking dirty. We don't need him.
Yeah.
That's their version. And I was just like, what the fuck, bro? Another thing, when Bill Murray's character, when he announces that shit, listen, this would have been raw.
Oh yeah.
If they didn't announce MODOK, if they didn't show MODOK in the fucking trailer,
and if he wasn't leaked,
and if he wasn't leaked, imagine that moment where Bill Murray was like, "Someone's looking for you," or like something, whatever. I forgot what he said.
He's like a hunter.
Yeah, a hunter by the name of Mental Organism Design. Bro, imagine the theater of real Marvel fans would be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I agree.
Imagine that, bro. I'm getting chills just thinking about it, bro. If I didn't see MODOK in the trailer and if it wasn't leaked or whatever, bro, when I heard that, I would have been hyped. I would have grabbed your shirt and ripped it off, bro.
Hey, yo.
You feel me? I would have been so fucking hyped, dude. But no, it was just typical. Which goes back to what we said before, many podcasts ago, or even off podcast. Marvel just shows too much in the trailers, especially what they did in fucking Multiverse of Madness. But anyways, that's a different topic. So that's what they did with this MODOK person. They made him like a puppy dog thing. And personally, what I thought was gonna happen is I thought the big reveal was gonna be It's not just Kang, but it's MODOK side by side of Kang, helping him out and doing all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously, MODOK would eventually become defeated, and then it'd be Kang alone, right? That's what I was expecting. But I expected MODOK to have more of an impact. I expected MODOK to do more. I expected Kang to kind of treat him as like an equal, as a partner, instead of a servant. That's what I expected, bro. And then when I saw him, like, oh, it's just Yellow Jacket's helmet, like, that's just how he was, right? That's just how his body was, and Kang just fixed him and stuff. Right. And that scene where you see his ass cheeks,
oh god,
yeah, right? Like,
I was like, why?
Like they're just purposely with that. They're just making him they're making him that comedic relief purposely.
Yeah.
And maybe they think like, oh, it's just a floating ugly head. People won't take him serious. Whatever. You know what I mean, bro?
Here's my thing, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on something.
Go ahead.
It's obvious that Kevin Feige knows how to construct a universe and a timeline and knows how to release these movies and how to introduce all this shit because he knows his shit.
Yeah.
He knows his Marvel knowledge. He grew up reading the comics. He's been the executive producer of a bunch of Marvel movies way before the MCU was even created.
Yeah.
He was an executive producer on the OG X-Men movies and all that, right? And he has said that he has a lot of knowledge with Marvel characters. Mm-hmm. So you would think that he'd know how important characters are. Mm-hmm. So how is it possible that when, whatever his name is, I don't know the dude's name, I haven't looked it up, the guy who's writing the story / script for Quantumania and said, we're going to have MODOK, but he's going to be played by Darren from Ant-Man 1, and we're going to make him comedic and this and that. And look, this is a script, Kevin Feige. This is all the lines MODOK has in the movie. With Kevin Feige having the Marvel knowledge that he has, this is not the first time. Now, obviously, there's other examples like Taskmaster. And
another
what was the
shit wasted character.
And what was another character in the Marvel universe that people didn't like? MODOK, Taskmaster. There was one more. I forget.
That didn't like? Or
right,
it just felt wasted.
That felt like a wasted version of themselves.
For other people, I don't know, but me personally, I feel like Gore was kind of wasted.
That one, Gore.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So my thing is like when he gets shown these scripts or these pitches, right? These ideas.
Right.
Why does he not take an action to be like, fuck no? What are you talking about?
Or what if he thinks it's a good idea? What if he's like, oh yeah, bet, bro. Let's get it. Sounds great.
No, but here's the thing though. He is doing that. Otherwise, these movies would not be made in the first place. They're getting approved by someone, and that's him. Or, even worse, he's the one telling the screenwriters to do these to the characters.
I don't know, bro.
That's another thing, too.
This shit.
That's an issue, bro.
And listen, bro, and I've seen on Twitter, too, with people like me that are kind of upset, right? And then there's another huge amount of people saying, I loved MODOK, and our theater loved MODOK. When we were there, everybody laughed and loved him, bro. Whenever those moments, to be fair.
Yeah.
Right? And all these people on Twitter that I've seen are, like, there's a majority of people shitting on people like me. Bro, what are you talking about? MODOK was great. He was fun, blah, 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 blah. Or like, another Marvel Comics nerd. Right? Fuck you, bro. Fuck y'all, MCU bitches, motherfuckers who are casual watchers. Y'all don't know. Like, the reason why I'm passionate about it is because I know these characters from the comic books, right? And when you know these characters from the comic books, or whether it's a video game or whatever the fuck,
and you hear the idea of them being adapted to live action into a big budget movie,
yup,
your imagination skyrockets.
Right.
Oh my God, the possibilities.
Yes, bro.
But then when you're hit with the reality, and you compare it to what the possibility could have been, it's disappointing. Yeah, I get.
Or they just don't do him justice, man.
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean? Like, and for Kang, to be fair, like I said, I'm not familiar with him in the comic books, so I can't really feel that passionate with Kang here. I can't tell if he was done justice or not.
Sure,
right?
Sure, yeah, no, of course.
Until recently, because I had this conversation with Danny, like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Because Danny does know a few things, and he opened my eyes to things. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Are you gonna talk about that right now?
Well, I was gonna ask you what your theory was about the ending, and what is the direction we're going. Okay, that was gonna be my question to you guys.
So the reason why I stopped you is because I was gonna be like, well, before you say that, let's first talk about how it ended and like our thoughts on it and stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I was just gonna say. So basically, we already said earlier, right, that Ant-Man ends up winning, defeating Kang. So my thing is like, what did you guys think about Kang being defeated by Ant-Man?
Okay, okay. Now I understand. Like I said,
okay,
I did my research, Danny, whatever. But before, like when I was watching it raw, I was like, "What the fuck is this?
That's
shit?
Crazy.
What is this bullshit?"
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I thought that moment where the Wasp comes in and they're together and they're like, oh, we did it, right? And like Kang was like, I sucked in or whatever. I thought Kang was somehow gonna get out and like secretly run into that portal or whatever and like leave Ant-Man and the Wasp behind. Yeah. At that moment, that's what I was thinking. Or, but before we got to that scene, I thought Ant-Man was gonna get obliterated. I thought he was gonna fucking die. I thought he was gonna die. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because, like I said before, this is the first movie of Phase 5, the introduction of how evil this person can be, and what more of an introduction is to fucking kill a fucking Avenger, bro, from our universe. She'd be like, hey,
that's some Negan shit.
I was about to mention that, like a good introduction with like Negan to show you how serious this motherfucker is. Yeah. That's what I was expecting.
From Negan from The Walking Dead.
Yeah, from The Walking Dead.
When he killed Glenn and Abraham. And that was like his introduction.
Exactly.
So that you hate him right off the gate. You're like, nah, dude, this dude is bad news.
Exactly.
Like, he can't be fucked with. No, I get it. I get you what you mean.
But no, Marvel wants to stick to their basic shit. Even we see this in Gore and with Thor: Love and Thunder. Basic shit. No matter what, guys. Teamwork. We always win. Yeah. We always win. Like, fuck you, bro. Yeah. I want to see y'all lose. Why do you think Infinity War hit so hard?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Because we're so used to the good guys always coming up top. But then the moment they didn't, they fucking, half of them fucking died, bro. Yeah. Thanos won.
Yeah.
People were crying, bro. People were crying in the theater and stuff like that. Me, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck did I just watch?"
That's great.
I
was crying.
Like, hell no, fuck. I was sad as fuck, bro. But I was like, this is raw, bro. Holy shit.
The unexpected.
And that's what I want, bro. Is that the MCU, bro? Kevin Feige and everyone, they're not taking these leaps. They're not taking these risks.
They don't want to.
Yes, bro.
They're scared to.
Why, man? Just do it, bro.
No, they can't. They're scared. They're scared to make that big of a commitment because killing off Ant-Man would mean that we would never, ever have to see Ant-Man in the universe ever again. That's true. That would be a waste of the character because there would be no more movies with that character. It would be a waste of the actor because Paul Rudd is a good actor. And he's a talented actor. He's a seasoned actor. And he's someone who people will go watch the movie. Not because, like, a lot of people will say, like, oh, because it's a Marvel movie, it's going to make numbers. Yeah, but then again, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but he's up there with, I don't know if you guys, like, see the memes and shit on social media, but Paul Rudd is up there with Pedro Pascal and Ryan Reynolds as the internet's daddy, like, people simping over this motherfucker and shit. So he is one of the actors that people will go see for just the actor being in that movie. So for them to kill off Ant-Man would be a commitment of being like, well, that means no more Ant-Man in the rest of the MCU from here on out. No more Paul Rudd and no more people. Like, it's a wrap. It's like, it's over. It's over. And the thing about that is that's why they're scared. And that's why they didn't want to kill him off because it's a big commitment.
It could have been a great introduction. And not only that, it could have fell perfect. It could have felt perfectly with the setup of the Young Avengers, where Cassie could take the mantle.
Yeah, even though we wouldn't have been too crazy about that because
of course, but like that's just my point, right, bro? But it's just this movie, man. It had the typical bullshit that you see in a Marvel film.
Yeah,
like if you really truly think about it, I think the only the only movies from Phase 4 that like really had a serious tone and it was more different where we were watching the bad guy win. We're like, oh shit, it was Wakanda.
Yes, I agree.
And that shit was fire, bro.
Yep, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
But no, that's pretty much all we got, man. Like it's this movie, guys. It's another typical movie. It's another Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. There's nothing crazy about it. You know what I mean?
And this is something that I wanted to bring up, and then from this, we can then transition to the talk that you had with Danny.
Right.
But circling back to that Jeremy Jahns guy that you mentioned earlier, we were watching a video of him that he did with Quantumania. And basically, he said in the video, I actually pulled this up on YouTube and I showed it to Hector because I was like, hey, man, I want to get your thoughts on something and see what you think. And basically what he was saying in the video, and me and Hector agree, was that this was the movie that introduced Kang the Conqueror. And we were told that this guy, Kang, was going to be the next Thanos, the next big bad guy that this saga would be focusing on. And so the thing that we thought that I felt like was kind of weird to me was watching Kang die in quotations, because I don't know if he actually did die or whatever. At this point, bro, in Marvel movies, like, you could die and then come back. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Who knows, right? But was something that was interesting to me was watching Kang die, because that was strange to me, because I was like, but I thought Kang was like gonna be the big bad guy. Like, I thought he was going to be the next Thanos, and now he's gone. So after that, we get a post-credit scene of all these different variants of Kang.
The Council of Kangs. That's what it's called.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
So we see 3 different Kangs, right? We see, I want to get the names right. Ramatut. That was one of the Kangs, right? Ramatut, which was like the one that like spoke with a weird voice, like all whispery and shit, raspy ass voice. The one that had like that fucking thing on his head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was the Scarlet Centurion. I want to see if I get that name right.
Okay.
The Scarlet Centurion one.
Yeah.
And then the other one.
Oh, so it was, right? He had that armor type shit.
Yeah.
It was. Okay. Because Danny asked me that question. Yo, bro, was there a guy that looked like that? And I'm like, I just told him I couldn't remember. So I'm about to tell him right now. So
Scarlet Centurion was the dude, was the Kang variant that had that thing on his top. He looked like he had robot parts. The dude that looked like that had like that Aztec armor shit. That was Ramatut, and I forgot what the third variant was. I'm trying to think. There was the third variant that was talking with them. I forgot what his name was. But those three, they're talking to each other and they're like, so the exiled one's been killed, blah, blah, blah. And then they go outside and they see all these different variants. And it's like, oh, shit. Like, and here's, first of all, I want to just say, off podcast, I theorized, and I was right. Call me Kevin Feige Jr., girl. What the fuck's he talking about? And my theory was Kang Dynasty, right? I was like, dude, what if the villain in Kang Dynasty is not just Kang, but multiple Kangs? Like 3 of them at least. The first thing you see in the post-credit scene is 3 Kangs. And I was like, oh, shit. But then you see a whole fucking arena, a stadium full of them. And they were all the Council of Kangs. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was right. And I was like, okay, that's cool. My theory was right. Badass. But my thing is, if the OG Kang from Ant-Man Quantumania is dead, and now they have these Kangs, my thing was, like, the thing that me and Hector talked about was like, well, does that mean we're going to get introduced to different Kangs in the future movies? In which case, it just feels like, oh, it's like the same character, but not really. And so, essentially, every time we meet a new Kang in the MCU from here on out, it's just going to feel like we're meeting the character for the first time again because you have no previous history with them. Yeah. Right? That was something that I guess Hector had thought of and that I was thinking of. And then once we talked about it, you mentioned that Danny said something. Which I'm dying to know because...
it opened my eyes, bro.
And I'm dying to know because I'm still thinking, like, how could it work? You know what I mean? Oh, shit. Oh, no, he's standing up. Let me play the Batman theme.
All right. So I did my research.
Okay, go ahead.
In the comic books.
This man walking like he's teaching a class.
Dude, because Kang, even veteran comic book readers.
Okay, hold on. Hold that thought.
Yeah, what happened?
Here we go. Okay, so the 3 Kangs were Ramatut, Scarlet Centurion.
Yes.
Centurion, that was his name. I mispronounced it. And Immortus.
Okay, yes.
Those were the 3. I just wanted to get that right. You were saying.
Okay. So I was doing my research, and even veteran comic book readers, with these same people, I'm reading these articles, I'm watching these videos, even them, they say, Kang's story is very confusing.
Yeah.
Because it involves a multiverse and it involves multiple variants of him.
Oh.
So in the comic books,
even in the
and even in the comic books, there's multiple versions of Kang. But the original Kang that I found the origin of was I think he's related to Reed Richards' father.
Yeah.
Right? And he ends up finding Reed Richards' father's time machine that he built.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Isn't he like a great grandson?
Something I forgot, low-key, but all I know, they're related.
Yeah, I know they are.
Right.
That I knew because he's from the future.
Yes.
So wouldn't it make sense for him to be Reed Richards' grandson or great-grandson?
I think so. But, okay, in the comic books, this is what happens. He finds a time machine. He's like, oh, cool, whatever the fuck. I'm going to go back in time. He goes back in time. He builds a ship. And that ship he builds is the Sphinx that we see in Egypt.
Oh, shit.
He builds that Sphinx as a spaceship. And he lands in Egypt. And that person, he becomes Ramatut.
Which is who we saw in the post-credit scene.
That's in the comic books. That's the OG Kang.
Oh, shit.
He becomes the Ramatut. And he leaves the Sphinx there because the Fantastic Four was also there. And the Fantastic Four end up fighting with Ramatut. Ramatut ends up escaping. He leaves to a different dimension using his machine or whatever. And he leaves the Sphinx. And it's funny because that's the Marvel's Universe explanation of the Sphinx. Because in real life, we don't really know how that bitch was built in real life. So that was their explanation. It was just a spaceship built like by whatever, right? But that's Ramatut, bro.
Okay.
And because of him traveling to these different timelines, what happens? He causes incursions. He makes copies of himself. And there's multiple different versions of him. Mm-hmm. So that's what it is, right? So my thing is, when Danny was telling me, who's this OG Kang, bro, in this fucking movie? Danny hits me with, he's not. I'm like, what? He's not the OG Kang. The OG Kang in our universe died. I'm like, what? Don't you remember season 1 of Loki? He Who Remains.
He Who Remains.
that was our Kang in our universe. And he warned them, hey, if you kill me, you're going to unleash other people. Remember, he describes all the different Kangs and stuff?
Yeah, I remember.
If you kill me, hell will break loose, blah, blah, blah. And guess what happens? They kill him.
Yeah.
And so, not Javi. Mario says, not Mario. Danny says that was our main Kang.
Yeah.
Right? That this Kang was not, he was just a copy, another version. Right? He says, so that's our main Kang. And he says the next main Kang, that's going to be the Metal, is the guy that we got in the end credit scene, where we see Loki and, what's his name again? Mobius, right? We're back in the old times.
Mm-hmm.
Danny's speculating that that's going to be the main Kang, and that Kang Dynasty is going to be about not multiple Kangs going against the Avengers, but all the Kangs going against each other, and only one will stand. Like a battle royale.
So then how do the Avengers play a part?
We don't fucking know. But apparently that all these different Kangs are going to fight, whatever, and that Kang that we saw in the end credit scene, he's going to be the main one and going to defeat everyone and absorb them. And he's going to be...
Victor Timely?
Yeah, that Kang, yeah. And that guy, he's the one going to be blah, blah, blah. So in the comic books, like I said, he went back in time, right? The main guy. He went back in time for whatever reason. I forgot why. Oh, he wanted to locate, I think, Apocalypse, or something like that. I think that was his name. But regardless, this is a different storyline. I haven't read it. I just got a brief summary from what I retained.
Okay.
People listening to this podcast who are more experts, let us know in the comments. But that's what's going on. And so my theory is, what if they're doing it different, obviously, in the MCU, right?
Sure.
So what if, in the main Kang, he went back in time to I think it was 1901 or some shit, back to Egypt, and he put the Sphinx and he did all that. He became Ramatat, the pharaoh, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, the Kang in the end credit scene, what if that is the main Kang compared to the Marvel comics? Because where are we? We're back in time. Does that make sense? So in the comic books, Kang went back in time. Mm-hmm. In the MCU, that Kang, we're in the old times. So what if he came from the future, but he just went back to the old times? And that's going to be the main one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's what Danny was explaining to me, and I did my own research, and all this shit pretty much kind of checks out a bit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because at this moment, I thought the Kang that we got in this Ant-Man was the OG.
No.
You know what I mean?
I thought it was the OG too. But I knew it wasn't the King from our universe. Like, from this universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I knew it wasn't going to be... I knew he was from another multiverse. I knew he was from another universe.
So, that's what Danny was explaining to me, bro. And, I mean, after this podcast, like, whatever, whenever you have free time, you could look into it, too. Mm-hmm. So, you could see what I saw. But, like, it's true. In the comic books, the Council of Kangs, the Ramatat, which is confusing, because I guess maybe Ramatat and... that we saw, maybe he's not the OG. Maybe it's going to be the end credit one that we got. Maybe that's the difference. We don't, like, when I say OG, like the main, who's going to be the actual Kang, the Conqueror, right? You know what I mean? For our timeline. Mm. So that's what I gathered, bro, and that's what Danny was telling me. Mm. And that's what it's like, seems like it's going to. And so the more I did my own research on that and I talked with Danny, it made sense to me. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. But it still does not change the fact that we were already built up a rapport and we've invested in this Kang. Mm-hmm. Just for him to die by Ant-Man, even though he said the amount of Avengers I've killed, the blah, 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 right? Mm-hmm. Whatever. We already went through that, but...
I'll be honest, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think he died.
You don't think so? I mean, I don't know.
No, I can't, bro.
We don't know.
The only reason why I say that is because Kang in the like, he had the same suit as he did in the comics. He has the same, like, purple helmet thing that he does in the comics. He has the lines down the eyes, down the face. You know what I'm talking about? Like in the comics.
There's multiple versions like that, too, in the comics, too. Where they look exactly the same, bro.
You're right. I remember. I'm now thinking about the post-credit scene. You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
So like,
but yeah, okay, but here, you see, that's my thing. Is like that was the weird part. Was like, well, then now every king we meet is gonna be like meeting him for the first time. So don't get me wrong. Jonathan Majors is a fucking awesome actor.
Yeah,
he has proven himself in just this movie alone.
Yeah, and
now I'm excited to see him in like Creed 3 and King Dynasty and all that shit. Right. Now, granted, I know that if whatever variant of King he plays, I know he's gonna fucking kill it.
Yeah.
But my thing is like more the emotional connection. Am I actually gonna feel attached to this character if every variant I meet of him is the first time I'm meeting him?
I just like
that's what I'm afraid of.
I accept the fact that there's infinite possibilities of Kang. Mm-hmm. There's so many versions. I just want to invest in the Kang in our timeline, in our universe.
Our timeline.
You know what I mean?
I would have said invested in the Kang that was gonna be like El Mero Mero, the one that was gonna like fuck shit up.
Oh, like the best of all Kangs, like that.
Like the one that would like either that or like my theory. Remember my theory was, oh, we're not gonna get one Kang, we're gonna get three. And what did we see in the post-credit scene? Mm-hmm. 3 Kangs, right? Ramatut, Immortus, Scarlet Centurion.
Yeah, it could be.
So my thing is like, just keep it at those 3. Mm-hmm. Those 3 being the Kang variants
going against the Avengers.
Or if you want to kill one of them off and replace them with a more comic book accurate looking King, like the green with the purple, you know what I mean? Like that one.
Some like Halo prophets. Remember we played Halo, the 3 prophets?
Yeah, something like that.
Like that.
Only instead of just sitting around all day, like
they're doing shit.
Yeah, they're actually out there fighting the Avengers.
But like they're like the 3 leaders of the Covenant.
But at least they're actually the ones I can grow. Because if I'm gonna just like, I doubt this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if we go see Avengers King Dynasty, whenever that decides to come out, because now that they're delaying a bunch of
we don't know
stuff,
right?
I don't know when they're actually gonna release it. My thing is I don't want to like see 10 different Kangs show up throughout the whole movie. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know how long King Dynasty would be. Realistically, runtime might be 2.5 hours.
You just become more like invested when it's more concise, like with one villain, or a small amount of villains. You know what I mean? Like it's more concise, and you could really invest with them, rather than like a bunch of copies of them pull up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. But what you're saying about like what Danny explained, it sounds interesting and it sounds cool.
We just gotta.
But we just have to wait and see how.
Yeah, because we don't know what and I didn't know any of this. Like I said, I'm not familiar with him. Mm-hmm. So when I did my research, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? Because before I was like, what is this? I just thought this was like the main Kang, bro. Because like I said, I don't know anything about this character.
Sure, yeah.
So I thought he was the main one. I'm like,
damn, he just got whooped.
We just got whooped by Ant-Man. Good job. Like, I thought he was gonna kill Ant-Man and get out the portal and be like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Daddy's home, right?
I thought so too.
That's what I thought.
I thought it was gonna end that way.
Yeah.
But like there at one point when he was running towards the portal, I'm like, oh, this is it. This is where Ant-Man loses. This is where Kang gets unleashed. And then MCU runs to their safe zone and go, no, the good guys have to win. And then
bro.
And it all just kind of ties up squeaky clean. Would you say the ending was too squeaky clean? Like how easy
I thought so, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is your introduction to the Phase 5 and you had a cool chance to make it impactful.
Right.
But instead you played it safe. You went to the mediocre shit. Typical MCU shit. Typical corny, cheesy little shit. Bringing up characters we don't really give a fuck about. Like, who gives a fuck about that Huntress or whatever? Like, what's her name?
I don't know.
Yeah, no one knows.
Like, did they ever mention her name?
They did multiple times.
Like, who cares? And before y'all motherfuckers say, people are gonna say, it's a girl. It's not because she's a girl. We just don't give a fuck. Like, who is this character? We don't care.
Yeah,
like,
that's facts.
You're bringing too much characters and too much shit.
I think if you said for the guy that Javi said he liked, the
telepath.
Like
he was interesting, but like he wasn't in as much, so he falls under the same category of like I just don't care.
That's true. He was more unique because with the girl, it was like a typical shit.
It was a typical
rebellion.
Typical rebellious female leader who with a tragic backstory and has revenge.
Thank you.
How many more of those characters have we seen before?
Exactly. We've seen that many times, bro.
It's like, hey, who are you? I'm a resistance leader.
Yeah. What do you want?
Like, what do you
Revenge.
want? What do you want? Revenge against who? The one who took everything from me.
Yes, bro. It's just generic.
Okay, cool. Like
all right, cool.
It's a trope.
And with the guy with the mind reader, he had a different power that we're like, oh shit, who the fuck is this guy? And the way he would act, he would carry himself just differently, right? But regardless, I'm gonna be fair. Do we need him in this shit? No, we didn't need him in this. He didn't really play like a super big role, right? But I just personally, from that little shit, like I thought he was a more interesting character than the other girl. Cause the other girl, I was just like what you said. Okay, it's just generic.
Yeah.
It's like okay, and then Cassie, typical Cassie, Dad, we gotta help. She's in trouble. Stay here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That scene is so generic too.
Yeah.
It's like I was expecting that.
Like, where'd she go?
Yeah, where'd she go? And he looks and it's Cassie doing her
she's
shit.
already running.
And he's like, oh, great.
I gotta go.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just this movie is very like generic.
It's safe.
Yes, dude.
It's safe.
Okay, let's talk the positives real quick.
It doesn't take risks. It's more safe.
Yes, dude. Let's talk about the positives. The world building and the visuals were cool as fuck.
Dude. Okay, so you know how
shit was raw.
You know how we talked about like how we thought maybe the CGI was kind of declining in MCU projects? I was like, bro, if I had to pick a project where the special effects could not flop, like it cannot look like trash, it's Multiverse of Madness and Quantumania.
Yeah.
And luckily, both of them
They
looked good, and so I was glad to see that the special effects.
Yeah, bro.
I can forgive the CGI on MODOK being not great because it's like it's bound to look like that. Like you just can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but many people are hating on that. Like, bro, how do you make that clean as fuck? Like, how do you make that really good, bro? It's gonna look weird regardless. It's a fucking floating head.
Yeah.
You know, how do you make that good? Like,
unless you wanted to keep. Well, here's the thing: either that, or you have him keep that metal helmet thing on forever. Right. In which case, people say that's not comic book accurate because he has a real face, not a helmet. In which case, you just can't win. It's a lose-lose situation. You're gonna have haters either way.
Yeah, man.
So it just is what it is.
That's not why I hated him. That's why. That's not why I didn't like him.
No, I know. I agree. And I agree. I don't hate him because of the CGI or nothing like that.
And like, just some of the scenes, man, seemed like, it kind of made me like cringe a little bit, like kind of corny. It's like, all right.
Like what?
Like just.
I know you mentioned some, but like what other ones?
The Cassie Jumbotron, moments with MODOK, like, who am I, Cassie? That shit.
Yeah.
The part where MODOK like lunges at Kang. He's like, I am MODOK. I'm not a dick. I am MODOK. Remember that part?
I think so.
Remember that, Mario? Do you remember? Is that what he says? I forgot what he says. But like he like Kang has like a bubble shield type shit from Halo.
He says like, I am Darren. I'm not MODOK.
Yeah, I'm Darren, not MODOK. It's like, which is MODOK would never say that. MODOK would be like, hell no, I am the most powerful, intelligent life form, MODOK. What? That bullshit.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And then when he was dying, he was like, at least I went out like an Avenger.
That shit was funny. I'll admit, that was pretty funny.
And everyone just looked at each other like, yeah. Like,
that shit was funny, not gonna lie.
Good on you.
But like, still, bro, it's just, I don't like how they did MODOK, man. They did him fucking terrible, man. It's just like a disgrace. Like, I'm trying to remember who created MODOK. I wonder if I was about to say it's a disgrace to Stan Lee, but I'm not sure if he created him. I know he co-created Kang though.
Ooh.
Yeah, Stan Lee and John Romita. I don't know, comic book fans, y'all let me know, man. I forgot, but I know Stan Lee was a co-creator for Kang. But anyways,
as far as positives, Kang was fucking
visuals.
Fantastic. He was awesome in this movie.
What else? Is there any more positives? I just thought we're
visuals.
To be honest, I thought I was bitching a lot.
That's facts.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people are gonna think we're gonna.
No, this is a good movie. All right, it's a good movie, man. Cause it's a good movie. Cause it's like it's a typical Marvel movie. It's good.
It's safe.
It's not as bad as what critics were making it seem.
Fuck no.
It's hard to believe this movie was better than Thor: Love and Thunder. Mm-hmm. I don't know why critics thought Thor: Love and Thunder was better than this shit. Like, fuck y'all dumb as hell. This was way better than Thor: Love and Thunder. This was not better than fucking Wakanda. Hell nah.
No Way Home?
This was not better than No Way Home, bro. No, what the fuck? Like, But this movie was not a masterpiece. This movie was not trash. This movie was just good.
Yeah, the closest thing to masterpiece in this movie was Kang.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Kang was really fucking good.
In this movie, bro.
Like the seriousness and stuff, like you felt that shit, you know? But I mean, is there anything else that we gotta mention? Like, I know we didn't really break down this movie exactly what's happening detail for detail.
Sure.
And that's you know, that's whatever, guys. It's just like we just had a lot to say. This is more of a discussion. I mean, kind of a review too. We did mention spoilers and stuff. But yeah, do we need anything more? Like, did we mention anything? Like, is there anything else that we need to mention? You have anything?
I don't think so.
Do we pretty much cover everything?
I think we did.
Mario?
Not really, bro. That's pretty much it.
Mario was just listening, bro. He was just here for the ride. But if it's Star Wars, it's raps. All right. Well, Mario, let's get to our ratings. Who wants to go first? You know, I want Javi to go first, and then we'll go this way. Your final thoughts, your rating, bro, for Ant-Man and the Wasp, even though the Wasp
was barely in it.
Yeah, right.
Didn't do shit at all.
Quantumania.
I'm gonna just call this movie Quantumania. I feel like it just fits better. Which, by the way, fun fact: did you know I actually originally hated that title?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Quantumania.
When I heard that was what the movie's gonna be called, I was like, "What?
That sounds kind of goofy."
Sounds goofy. Like it sounds like some Looney Tunes bullshit.
Quantumania.
It's like what?
Quantumania.
Like what the fuck? What kind of Looney Tunes?
Sweet Seekers, like from like Wreck-It Ralph type shit.
Carnival.
Yeah. But I actually hated that fucking title. But now it just fits better than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Why not just call it Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Quantum Realm? Or maybe. Why is that too generic? Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's not catchy.
I don't know. But either way, I thought this movie was good. It was passable. MODOK could have been better. Kang was a scene stealer, and I hate Catherine Newton's acting. Therefore, it's a. Therefore, I'm gonna probably give it like a safe 6.5.
Whoa! 6.5.
And I'm gonna be honest.
Jesus.
If Kang was not in the movie. And like it was like MODOK was the main villain. This would be like a 4.5.
Jesus.
Nah, I feel like if MODOK was the main villain, they wouldn't have done him the way they did him.
If they did MODOK better, it would have rose up, it would have risen up a point for me. But no, MODOK was just a waste. It was another waste character, just like with Gore, just like with Taskmaster. Jesus. Taskmaster, MCU Taskmaster is the worst, bro.
And we're gonna see her again in Thunderbolts.
I don't give a fuck. I'm hyped for James Gunn, bro. Fuck it, man. Let's just jump over, man. Fuck it. But all right, 6.5. Holy shit, I was not expecting that from Hav. All right, good.
Why were you expecting
higher? 8.
Damn.
I was expecting an 8 from you. Well, okay. The rating, the way I have it, Hav, is like I know we rarely talk about it, right? But like the way I started to picture it for me when I rate is like 5 mediocre, 6 okay, 7 good.
Well, yeah.
8 great. You know what I mean? The 9 excellent, 10 a masterpiece. The Batman.
Yeah.
So I thought you were gonna it's a great film. Like it's 8.
For me, the way that I always saw the ratings, and the way that I thought we were gonna go into the rating was 5 being mid.
Yeah, mediocre.
Like middle. And then everything above 5 is different levels of how much you enjoyed it. Everything below 5 is how many levels of unenjoyment was it. And for me, like, I enjoyed this movie. Most of it was because of Kang, but it's still an overall safe movie. Certain things could have been done better, and that's why I'm like, I can't quite give it a 7 because I gave Eternals a 7. And I honestly was more engaged in that film for a lot of it. And I actually cared about Icarus as the villain. And, more than MODOK and shit. Than I did with, in Quantumania and MODOK. And, there was not as many comedic moments and stuff like that. That's why I can't quite give it, a 7.
To me, 7 is good. Just good. That's how I see it.
To me, I say it's to me, a 7 is is it worth rewatching? and maybe as a casual watch, like maybe like you have it on as background noise while I don't know you're like doing something else or something.
I can see that. I think
for me, Quantumania is not really at that.
Really, I would just put it on, just have it in the background, and be like, all right, cool. Even though I don't do that, right?
Yeah.
But I could definitely see that. I could just be like, fuck it.
Honestly, I would probably just wait till the movie comes out on Blu-ray, like on DVD.
Yeah.
And just wait for some person to make a compilation of like Quantumania all Kang scenes, and I'll put that on repeat.
Yeah.
For 3 hours. But that's what I would do. That's what I would do at 6.5. That's on
6.5.
I was shocked.
And then what about you, Mario? I know you didn't really say that much, but
this movie, man, I think this movie is a prime example of all the typical MCU tropes that you see in every fucking thing they do now, where it's the same thing. You have a big baddie loses. They set up shit for the future. Also, they have jokes, and I will say the jokes did work here. But
surprisingly,
like,
dude,
they worked here. But
a lot of the jokes and comedic shit in this movie actually worked for me more than I felt like Love and Thunder did. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is that just me? Like I thought a lot of comedic moments. Surprisingly, I was like, okay, that worked for me. Like, oh wow, that worked for me too. And like, okay, well there's the scene where I'm kind of like, man, they shouldn't have done that. But there were more scenes where I was like, all right, cool. Like I'm laughing. That's cool. More scenes of like that than there were me being disappointed. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we forgot to mention. There was comedy here that I felt like landed. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with Hob on that, because I was telling Hector on the ride home that there was that one scene with like that one alien that like gives you that liquid that makes you understand everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which,
when they
took that, I was thinking of High on Life.
For real? Hell no.
Because don't you? You guys played it. Don't you remember where like your character couldn't understand the aliens until the gun spits on you?
Yeah.
And then like you're covered in this goo, and then now you can understand their language. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember that. When you played it
vaguely.
But that's how it is in High on Life. So that reminded me of the game. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, but like that alien when it's in like the final act, when they're like crossing this bridge and they're ready to go charge, alien charges first, like and like Kang's like fucking military light his ass up, and he finally has holes. He's like, I have holes.
Yeah.
That was the part. Yeah, that was the part I was like, okay, there's typical MCU shit.
Yes,
right
bro.
That's
like,
typical MCU
so
shit.
at that moment,
because
I was like,
it's like they're building up. I'm always like, okay, they're getting
cringy.
ready to charge, start a fight. Hold on, let me hit you with
like
this joke real quick.
It breaks
it, but like, throughout the entire movie, people laugh. I'm like, damn. I kind of wish they didn't do that, but like, here's the proof of why they will probably never fucking change it. Because look, all these people are laughing, and they enjoy that.
That's true.
And
majority of like those moments where like I wasn't laughing or I felt kind of cringy, a lot of people in our theater liked, man. Yeah. And this goes back to what we say, Hav. They're catering to the larger audience, and they ain't gonna stop.
Casual watchers.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's just the truth.
Hey man, for me, bro, I would.
And many people hate us, Hav. Many people hate us nerds, us critics like this, bro.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, shut the fuck up. It's just a movie. Mm-hmm. Man, fuck you, bitch.
It's my life.
Nah, man. For me, man, that type of shit, it worked in the beginning of Marvel, but now since I've seen it so many fucking times, and I've been seeing it for a while now.
But it also wasn't done to this extreme. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the jokes, that comedy that we saw in previous MCU movies, like Phase 1, 2 era, were more clever. They were more comedically timed. Yeah. This just felt like we said earlier, like everyone is the comedic relief, and everyone is quipping, and everyone's witty with their jokes. Everyone's fast to the punchline, like Tony Stark. It's like everyone has a Tony Stark motor mouth that just keeps going and going and going. It's like that's what it is. It's just too much. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Would you say this movie was good?
I'd say it's fine. It's passable. It's safe.
It's not good?
It's fine.
So it's not good.
It's fine. I don't.
That's not good though. You know what I mean?
It's not bad,
but it's not good.
but it's not bad.
Okay, but okay.
What's
so
the point you're trying to make?
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, like, do you agree with the critics or like
No.
that it was bad?
No.
Do you agree with the other people that say it's really good? Or
I don't think it's really good, but I mean, like I said, it's fine. It's passable. It's a fun time. Whatever.
Yeah, bro. Definitely talking about all of this, and honestly, I was bitching. Not gonna lie, most of the time, it just made me realize how not great this movie was. You know what I mean?
The realization.
Yeah, man. Just talking about it with you guys openly, it makes me realize, oh wow, like
There's a lot of shit.
and it's just mediocre, typical Marvel shit. But okay, all right, Mario, I got my rating. Yeah, but go ahead. You haven't said your rating yet.
No, motherfucker.
I mean, you're talking about it. You're talking about a speech right now. You're doing a speech.
What?
You're doing a speech.
I'm good.
Like you're giving a speech, bro. You're not getting to the point. Like,
Well, I get to the point. I'm just explaining my points. I lost my train of fucking thought, dude. What the fuck was that?
just give the rating. Bro.
Typical MCU tropes are in this movie. I think that's my biggest complaint. That this is another typical MCU movie, and that they won't stop doing that shit, and that they won't do anything. I'm not saying anything new, but they won't do anything new when it comes to like not doing MCU shit. If that makes sense. But I don't think this is I don't agree with the critics at all. I don't think this is like a fucking terrible ass movie.
No.
I think it's a very good movie, and so that I'm gonna give like a 7 out of 10.
7. I was like, all right.
It's good.
With me, man, talking over and stuff, I'm gonna lower my score, Mario.
You went in a 5?
I'm gonna give it a 6. Originally I agree with Mario. I was like, give it a 7. But now talking it more, I thought this movie was okay. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another safe MCU movie. 6. And that sucks, man. I really thought this movie was gonna be it. I thought it was gonna be hype. I was like, yo, this shit was lit. But I was like, I guess I just want to see something different, bro, from Marvel. I want them to take those leaps. You know what I mean? Those risks.
After Wakanda Forever, I feel like we're just spoiled.
Yeah, huh?
We've seen...
Because Wakanda was really good.
Because we saw what they could be, what they can be, what they're supposed to be with Wakanda Forever. That we're just like, well, why not do that every time? See what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And I don't know how y'all feel about this, but the dude who wrote the script and the story for Quantumania is writing King Dynasty.
Makes sense. I mean, who better way to connect? Who better way to connect both and then with him, right?
We just got to see what happens, bro. At this point, bro, I'm just like, what's going on, bro? Kevin Feige got to like really like regroup and be like, okay, guys, what are we doing here, man? Let's not do this. You know what I mean? Or yeah, bro. Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much we all got to say. Javi gave it a 6.5, Mario a 7. I'm giving it a 6. And yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. That was a review for Ant-Man and the Wasp, or just honestly Ant-Man and Kang. No, yeah, Ant-Man, Cassie, and Kang. Fuck it. You know what I mean? But yeah, guys, remember, don't let your past haunt you guys. Take care.
Peace.
See you.